What's up, guys? Hello, hello. Welcome. How we doing? Happy Friday. Whew, hope you're all doing well. I see a couple of faces already here. What's going on, guys? We've got Peanut in the house today, my little munchkin. Hi, Tim. I have my little baby. You gonna say hi, Peanut? You gonna come up and say hi? Hi, the Peanut. It's the Peanut. How we doing, guys? Okay, bye-bye. Hi, welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, thanks, Tim. How we doing, guys? Happy Friday. I hope everybody's doing well. Peanut is enjoying his little stay on my lap. He's very happy right now. But how we doing, guys? So, welcome, welcome. We're gonna, for those of you who are new, oh, thank you, Reedy. Thank you so much. Hi. So, for those of you new, hi, welcome. My name is Jacqueline. I do these hopefully once a week, depending on my schedule. Today, I'm going to give a group reading to start with, so everybody gets something. And then, if people give donations, simply they will just lock their position in and they will just go as a list. If not, no problem. I will take questions. So, I'm just going to wait for a few more people to trickle in. But welcome, guys. So, I hope you're all having a good week. I know the energies have been fun this week, and by fun I mean I'm being sarcastic. They've been intense. We had a full moon, and we have a lot of things happening in the collective right now, especially with the certain files coming out and people starting to wake up, people starting to see the truth about things. So it's creating some level of ripple effect. Hey, Jamie, good to see you. Hi, Johnny, welcome, welcome. Aw, it's your birthday, Sue! Oh my gosh, happy birthday! How fun! How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? So you got a 6 in your numerology. Very cool. Yes. So guys, we're gonna do the group reading. So we're just gonna see what's coming for the week. But I know for myself, for instance, this week I've been actually like sleeping a lot more than I normally do. I've been taking it easy. I haven't been as motivated. I've been still working and doing everything, but I've just been like slowing down. So I got to take this off. My hair gets always caught in everything because I have such long hair. 51, amazing. Exactly. You're really 33. Age is just a number, remember? So when these kind of things happen, I suggest that you guys just trust it, because I have been intuitively feeling that the reason why I've been slowing down is because I feel like I'm about to get really, really busy. And so I normally don't sleep in. I don't, allow myself to do that. I'm very like A type. But lately I've been sleeping in. I've been taking it easy. I have the luxury to do that, thank God. But yeah, so it's been very interesting. And usually I would sit there and beat myself up about it. It's like, oh, I'm being lazy and this. And I know myself, I'm not a lazy person. So one of those things is, don't, if you're feeling that, don't be mean to yourself. Don't stress yourself out. Bye. My husband's saying bye. Like I won't see him in the next 3 hours. Yeah. So don't beat yourself up. Sometimes things happen for a reason and we don't even know why, and we just got to trust our instincts sometimes. So let's begin with the group reading, and then we will start with the one-on-one readings. So if you can all just take a moment, just send me your energy. Just if there's anything that you would like to know, specifically, especially in the group reading, just tell your spiritual team to send it to me right now. And let's see what's coming up for the week. Oh, that hurt. I got like a pinch on my finger here. Okay. Intense, apparently. See, already 3 cards fell out immediately. Okay. Apparently they want to get their point. Okay. So we got the 7 of Cups here. the Six of Swords, and then we got the Five of Cups. Okay, so whenever I see cups, oftentimes the first thing that I heard is like emotional. So this is telling me something that a lot of you just got to be aware of your emotions and the emotions around you as well. Not so much just your emotions, because we get influenced and affected by other people's emotions too, especially people that are close to you, or just go online for about 2 minutes. And I would be very surprised if nobody gets emotional watching TikTok or Instagram, whatever, something gets activated, right? So what I'm hearing here is that there is a lot of emotions this week. There's going to be a lot of emotional stuff coming up. So if you are an emotional person, if you are an empath, if you're the type of person that is easily influenced, just be aware of that and maybe shield yourself a little bit more or protect your well-being the best way that you can. It doesn't mean it's always bad emotions, but, you know, especially online, it goes with like the ups and downs. And the other thing I'm hearing is indulgence. So indulgence means like, just, well, maybe with me with the sleep, but again, I don't feel like it's a bad thing. So sometimes we just get, maybe indulgence could be like being lazy or not taking better care of your body, or because of these emotional things, we oftentimes default back to our coping mechanisms, right? So it could be whether to like eat more or go back to eating unhealthy or not exercising or whatever your thing is, but just be aware that that's possible also, like the trigger. The other thing that I'm hearing here is like the Six of Swords. Whenever I see this card here, it always tells me like mind trapping yourself mentally. So it's like you have all these swords around you and you feel like you can't go anywhere, but you can just walk away from it. And so be aware, again, because of the emotion, it affects our thoughts, right? Our thoughts affects our emotions and vice versa. It's that cycle that ends up happening. So be aware of like not trapping yourself into belief systems or ways of thinking that keep you in that stuck place, whatever that is. So that means essentially it's like it's important to basically like, I've been saying like lately. I don't normally say like a lot. So I just caught myself saying that. What can you do to break out of the cycle? So for instance, I do daily practices with affirmations. I do meditation, of course. So these are the things that basically help me reprogram my mindset, or at least keep it as clean or as in line as possible. You are the least laziest person I know. Oh, thank you, Sue. Thank you. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Well, I mean, I'm not a big fan of also like giving yourself too much of a break either, because I think we can get into these patterns of, listen, if you want to have an extraordinary life, you got to do extraordinary things, right? And that doesn't always allow you to do things like resting too much. But like I said, I feel like it's happening because intuitively I know I'm going to have a really busy next 2 weeks and I'm not going to get a lot of sleep. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it. Normally I wouldn't even allow myself to do it. But my point is, trust your intuition here. You know what I mean? So anyway, going back to the mental stuff, guys. So just be aware of the things that you can do to tune in your brain and basically allow it to serve you the best way possible. Affirmations do really work. If I don't do my affirmations in the morning, I have noticed such a huge difference. And again, this is my ritual. You can create your own ritual. Thank you, Sam. Nice to meet you. Welcome. So the next thing is, guys, essentially we got to overcome and make some changes. Okay, so it really comes, it's very simple, the thought of it, but again, it's simply thought and said, but when it comes down to it, it's not. So overcoming those emotions, being it's almost like having that ego view of the situation as opposed to being in it, because when you're in it, you're in the chaos, you're in the fog, you cannot see 2 feet in front of you. But when you rise above it and you're looking down at it, then everything becomes very clear and it's easier to see what's going on. So that is basically the best thing to do. So if you're getting emotional, if you're getting yourself involved in something dramatic, or again, the emotions, step back. And what I'm hearing is just step back, take the bird's eye view, and keep the practices to basically keep your mind clear. And then you should be okay. You should be able to sail through this time. But just be aware that this is what's happening. And sometimes it could also just be the people around you more so than you. And like I said, and that can influence and affect you. If you have a partner who's going through something, it's going to affect you, right? So just be aware of that, basically. So that's the energy of the week. Wish it was something a little bit more fun, but I don't get to choose that. Hey, Haley, nice to meet you. Welcome. Woo! So, guys, welcome, welcome. I see a few more people have joined. How we doing? Happy Friday. So, I'm ready to take the one-on-one readings. Like I mentioned before, of course, this is not expected, but if somebody gives a donation, you just lock your position and you get a longer reading. If there's not, that's fine. I will take questions either way. But just understand, oftentimes when I'm reading for someone, you're here for a reason, and oftentimes you will find that that reading resonates with you, or there's something in there for you. So we'll see what comes up. Sure, guys. One second. My hair's crazy today. Um, okay. So let me just get a pen so I don't lose track of a list, because that does happen sometimes. And just a quick hello for everybody, because Peanut's here. What you little baby? He's like a little floppy. He doesn't care what I do. Hi, the baby. Are you going to say hi to everyone? You don't care. You just want mommy titles, huh? The baby boy. Peanut is famous, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. Well, Peanut says hi. He's going to go back to bed now. All right. Thank you, Robin. I got you. Okay, so I got Robin right now on first. And then I saw Reedy and Haley. Okay, so Robin, since you're getting a donation, you're going to go first. So, my love, hi, welcome. What can I do for you? What's your question? I'm just going to tune into your energy. It's funny how whenever I tune into people's energy, I have visuals. And I don't know if this is like who you are. I just have to trust the visuals. But I saw like an open field, mountain, and horses for some reason. And I don't know what any of that means, but it kind of tells me a little bit about the person. It's weird. About retirement this year or next. Wondering about retirement this year or next year. Okay, so you want to know if you want to retire this year or next year. Let's find out. Peanut farted. It's a little smelly, baby. I love you. But you could like not do that. That'd be great. Okay. I got you down, Haley, a second. Okay. All right, Robin, let's find out. He's legendary for his farts, that's for sure. Did you guys know that you're going to come here and I was going to talk about farts? No, you didn't. See? Surprise. All right, Robin, let me see what's going to come up for you. Oh. See, horses. I know it's probably because it's the horse energy, Robin. So it's telling me probably a lot about this year, possibly, which is probably why I saw open field and horses. So I think already just having that visual for me, it's probably saying that it's going to be this year. But I feel like you've asked me this before. But I just want them, and you got a lot of horses in these cards, ironically. I don't know why the horses. Do you have any connection to horses, Robin? Are you like the year of the horse or something? Okay, weird. So it has to be with the year of the horse then. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from the situation. Review everyone's motives. Okay, let's keep going because it's going to make sense in a second. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. A very happy family life. Financial security. Finding magic in the little things in life. Okay. So what I'm hearing here, Robin, is that have you been getting advice from somebody about what to do? Like, have you been having people in your ear, or have you just like, because I'm not quite sure, but I'm hearing like maybe you're just trying to get many people's different opinions on this and trying to make the right decision. And I think that's what the unwise choice is. I think this is something that you just have to confidently make that decision for yourself and sit with it. And also like, ask yourself, again, if you are asking other people or not, if you're looking at other people as inspiration or not, that could also be the other thing. Good, yes. But it could also be like maybe looking at other people who have retired, and maybe like I feel like there's a level of influence here. I don't know why. Not quite sure why. So sorry, I'm listening. I'm just getting information. Yeah, I feel like this is something that you're going to know what to do. And I'm hearing here as well, it's like balance mental and emotional consideration. So I think it's really like, again, I suppose that just makes sense why I'm seeing horse energy. Horses, like whenever I see the horse energy as well in my book of realms, it means something also when people have a hard time deciding between their mind and their heart. Oftentimes it's because their primal self and their logical self are having like this constant, they can't sync up kind of thing. So like in one way your heart wants to do something but your mind is thinking something different, and so you can never seem to be able to align the two. But I'm hearing in my head, Robin, at the end of this year, possibly it's gonna be a good time. I don't think it's gonna be like right now. So I think it's gonna be end of this year and possibly start of next year if possible. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so just trust your own instincts here, though. At the end of the day, of course, you gotta go with what is right for you. But I feel like once you can get your heart and mind to work together peacefully, then the decision's going to be a lot easier for you to make. So what I want you to do, yeah. So what I want you to do is like to ask yourself, what is that conflict? What is the pros and cons? And I think, again, thinking about it like this year or next year, I think at the end of this year is a great time because it's right in the middle between both. So it could be like kind of, again, finding that middle ground, that like balance, that kind of like not jumping into it right now, but giving it a little bit of time kind of thing. So, again, I'm listening, sorry, because there is quite a bit of information. So all I'm hearing, again, they just want to reassure you that once your heart and your mind have synchronized and have found that sense of peace, that like in your heart, you know that's right, then you're going to move forward with it. I do feel, again, I keep hearing at the end of the year. Now, the other good thing, though, is that you got this beautiful card, which I love. And it's like a very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. So I see that no matter what you do, you're going to make the right choice. Okay. So I think you should lead with that, knowing that you are going to make the right choice for yourself. And what I love here, it's saying because the outcome's going to be great. You're going to have more time for family. You're going to have more peace. It's going to be like you're going to feel financially secure in it. So you're not going to be freaking out about it too much. And finding the magic in the little things in life too, which I love as well. So it's kind of like now that you've let that chapter end, now you're ready for that new chapter to enter. And so you're open to new experiences because this is not the end of something. This is really the beginning of something new for you. And I feel like the energies as well from before and later, it's more like mental energy again. And then you've got the heart energy coming through. So again, the blue, and then you've got the green. The green is the heart chakra. So it's going to open up your heart a lot more. And I think that you're going to be a lot more in tune as well with your intuition. And you're going to discover new things about yourself as you go into this transition to this like transformation. I don't hear anything else, but does that make sense? Okay, did that help you, or do you want to know anything more? Because I feel like it was pretty clear. I do feel like it's going to be at the end of the year for you, though. I think it's going to be a little bit longer, but I think it's going to be, you want to walk away from this like, I'm ready. You know, you're not going to walk away from this like, oh, should I have waited? Should I have gone? That's never a good place to move out of something, because then there's like possibility of regret or what ifs and all that sort of stuff. So I don't feel like again, end of year. That's what I heard in my head. And still in the year of the horse for some reason. I saw a lot of horses, so it makes sense because we're in the year of the horse. So that could be also a lot to do with that. Okay, well, best of luck, Robin. That's amazing, and congratulations. It's going to be, I really feel like, just please understand that this is like a new chapter for you, and it's going to be so cool. The earliest would be June, but it could be December, so it makes sense. Okay, well, maybe look for horse signs as well, because sometimes that's how our guides communicate with us. So you can ask for reassurance, and you can keep saying, okay, should I go in June or should I go in December? And then if you could give me a sign, give me a clear sign, and ask them for that sign. So you'd be surprised. And you will also know, Robin, by how you feel, how you're going to react to it. Because if it's June, if you get like a sense of panic and fear, then you're like, I'm not ready yet. And then if you think about December and then you're feeling like a sense of calmness and security within that, then you know that that's the right time. But you got to trust yourself there, right? So these are things that you can try and test out and really just sit with yourself and just notice how your body reacts to that, because it's going to tell you a lot. Awesome. So Haley, you're next. You're welcome. And then Reedy, I still have you. Don't worry. Welcome, welcome. Hi guys, I see a few more people have joined. General guidance for this year, please, lovely. Okay. I'm getting such visuals, you guys, today. It's so weird. So Haley, with you, I saw butterfly. Okay. That tells me transformation. That's telling me change, some kind of transformation for you. Ooh, ow. My cards are biting me today. What the hell? What the hell? Usually I get like hot and cold, and then today I've been getting like jabs here. Like, all right, thanks, man. A little intense. You might need to just relax a little, you know, chill out. Let's see what comes up. Hey Dee, welcome. Yeah, so right now I am doing a reading for Haley, and then I have Reedy in line, and then if you would like a reading, you're more than welcome to. Oop, flipped. And I feel with you I gotta get more cards for some reason, because it's like, oh, okay. What else? What else? What else? I keep looking at these ones, so I'm going to trust my intuition here, and I do feel a little bit of warmth. Sorry, I'm going to get 3 more cards. That one already fell out. Okay. So the fact that I saw a butterfly, for me, this is just basically telling me that this is going to be a transformational year for you, Haley. There's going to be a lot of things that are basically going to change. Sorry, Peanut. He doesn't even flinch when I drop cards on him. He's like, you work hard, Peanut, don't you? My dog's here, just for those of you who don't know. Yep, there it is. Butterfly. Okay, so a couple of things that are coming up. So the first thing is, one of the things that I hear that you actually need to begin to shift. I don't think that you do this on consciously, but what I'm hearing is there's a negative pattern that you do that is kind of destroying a little bit of the magic in your life. And oftentimes, so the mystic elementals came up, and when this card comes up, it's often like the kind of thing that we get signs and synchronicities or messages, and then we kind of brush them off as coincidences, or we don't take them as seriously, maybe, as somebody who, I don't know, wants more of a magical life, if you like. So what I'm hearing here is that they're saying, please don't lose that, because it's kind of like your guide as well. It's how you like navigate through, but it's also going to make your life a lot more exciting and a lot more fun. So if there is a part of you that feels a little disconnected or a little bored or a little you know, I don't know how to explain that energy. It's because you're not seeing the magic, or even if it's there, you're like, oh, I know, but then people are gonna think I'm crazy, so I'm just not gonna like whatever kind of thing. I don't know how else to describe that. I've got my itchy nose going. Sorry guys, this happens sometimes when I do readings. Then you got sorry, it's really itchy. Then I got the incarnated gnomes. Okay, so what I love about this is really all about you this year, learning to reconnect with your true nature. When we do that, when we reconnect to ourselves, to our nature, things flow abundantly into our lives because we are synchronized with our frequency. So I'm going to read this. The incarnated gnomes are here to help you reconnect with the ancient wisdom of the earth, the plants, and the natural world, or your natural world. They encourage you to return to what is healthy, nurturing, and aligned with your true self. It is time to release toxic habits or traits that no longer serve you. Ground yourself, listen to nature's guidance, and embrace the changes. I can't read. The changes necessary to achieve this transformation. So I feel like you are ready for this change as well. And I think you're wondering, how do I get there, or how do I make this change happen? And again, these are like the clues that you're getting. Reconnect to the magic of the world and the magic within you. So embrace those little things, and reconnecting to your nature. And this means like also maybe discovering what that is, because oftentimes we think we know who we are, and it's a lot of it's just conditioning and coping mechanisms that we have built up over many years. So it could just simply be by like asking that question and start following essentially your passion. Like, what are the things that light you up, that make you feel alive? And doesn't matter if they're silly, or you obviously you probably have a job, but like, what could that be? And sometimes when we tune into that, it can shift things like our job or our purpose or wherever we're going. Now, the one thing that I'm also getting here as well with you is you need to ground yourself a lot more, because there's a lot of anxiety or frantic energy. And that's the part of that gets distracted. So whenever I see the stars, this is like I said, it's almost like your nervous system is a little bit shot. So it's kind of like in fight or flight. And so it's hard to make decisions. It's hard to see things clearly when we're in that state of being. And we're not really that tuned into ourselves, because half the time we're just trying to get by. So whatever that means to you, I'm not quite sure, but that's come up. So do a lot of practices where you can do some grounding and soothing your nervous system and calming down, because that's also going to reconnect you to who you are. Maybe meditation practices or anything like that. This year, it's really going to help you change, and it's also going to help you in all of the areas that you're really seeking. So no matter what it is that you're trying to manifest this year, they're giving me the key ingredients to help you get there quicker, or at least to get there smoother without the universe forcing it upon you sometimes. So trust your intuition, rise above problems, and problem resolved. Yeah. So rise above problems and trust your intuition. Okay. So what I'm hearing here as well is like that what you actually have to do, but sometimes knowing and doing are two different things, right? It's like, I know I shouldn't be drinking, but I do it anyway. I know I shouldn't eat that chocolate, but I've been doing it anyway, right? Or I know I should calm down and meditate, but I haven't been doing it. So when this happens, oftentimes it tells you that basically we have locked into a habit, and we are not, we're just not doing the work essentially. And so it's gotten to a place where you've gotten comfortable in the uncomfortable, which means that your comfort zone is the anxiety, the stress, or whatever, and you've gotten accustomed to it, and this has become your familiar. And so it kind of sucks to come to terms with that. I always say when I suffered from depression, I was comfortable in my depression. And so being happy, that was incredibly uncomfortable for me. That made no fucking sense. I was like, I feel powerful in my depression. I'm familiar with it. I know how to handle myself in my depression or my anxiety. And then the minute I started doing all the work, it gets uncomfortable, because suddenly you're like, I'm calm. And then there's this fear that comes up, is like, well, if I'm calm, then something bad must happen, right? Because it can't always be like this. And so it becomes like a coping mechanism. And I feel like you've got a little bit of that. And that's what I mean by going back to your nature. Your nature is not somebody who's anxious. Your nature is not somebody who's been stressed out. That is, want to be losing weight, but feel like I'm constantly self-sabotaging. Yes. So what I'm hearing here, Haley, is that the problem is like really subconscious programming. So again, this is what I'm going back to. You're comfortable in the weight that you're in, and losing that weight, especially for people who might have a little bit of extra weight, sometimes it's like there's a sense of vulnerability, because you feel a little bit more fragile, less of a shield. And so it's putting you out there in a whole new frequency, and you're experiencing the world from a different frequency. And that is actually scary for us humans, especially for the ego, because it wants to hold you within the known. So one of the things that you can do is that changing your identity. I identify as somebody with this weight and this type of stress level, and I no longer identify as this anymore. I identify as somebody who has a much healthier weight and who's a lot calmer. How would they think? How would they act? And embody that energy over and over and over and over again until you become it. When I quit smoking, for instance, that was one of the things. I was like, I'm not a smoker. I don't like smoking. Smoking is disgusting. And as a smoker, I love smoking, and smoking is my friend, but as a non-smoker, that is disgusting. That is my enemy. That is bad. That is all the negative things, right? So you have to shift identity and no longer identify yourself as that version of you. So one of the things that you can do, Haley, essentially is just like make a list as to why you might be comfortable within this. Obviously keeping the weight on means you get to keep the same habits, you get to keep the same routines, you get to keep the same foods, which give you what? Comfort, joy, immediate satisfaction, laziness, if you like, whatever the thing, because lazy can be a lot of comfort in that. And then you can look at the version of you that's thinner, but you got to look at the benefits that you get from that as well. So if I am a little bit thinner, what do I feel? I feel better about myself. I can move better. I eat healthier. Therefore, not just the outside looks good, but the inside looks good. But you have to give it something that sticks, because if it's not stronger than the old version of you, it's not going to win. Okay. So for me, it was like smoking was something that was like an evil entity that was basically sabotaging me, and it was disguising itself as a friend. There was something about that triggered something emotionally in me that anchored that in, and it made me want to shift. But until somebody tells me that smoking is unhealthy, I'm like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's not enough to make somebody quit. What makes people quit is that their reason for quitting has to be much more powerful and stronger than the reason why they do it. But you have to know why you're doing it to begin with, because then you can't you have nothing to compare it with, and you have nothing to shift the weight. Does that make sense? No pun intended, of course, but I mean shift the weight as in like the importance of the reason as to why you go for it. So problem resolved. I mean, again, this is a transformation. This is a year for transformation for you. But also this card here, the snake, okay? So I see some past trauma, some childhood trauma here as well that is connected to this. So this is something that you can look into as well. So there's probably something there, and that's why maybe you have the habits that you have, and it's anchoring, like it's keeping that inner child safe somehow. So with that kind of stuff with inner child, it's funny because I've been talking to a friend of mine who's been having a lot of triggers around that. There's something about like becoming your own parent in this moment and acting as your own parent and visualizing little you next to you. It's one of, honestly, especially, I don't know if this happened to you or not, but especially people who have been sexually abused as children, there's something very powerful about this practice that can really change people's lives. And I know this because this is what happened to me, and this is what my friend has been doing. And this is actually, I knew it intuitively, and he got it from an actual therapist. Speaking to your inner child as if they're literally in front of you, and you're going to look like an insane person, but F people, and telling them and reassuring them and being the parent that they needed, being the protector, being, if I get triggered and I get anxiety in a situation, for instance, and I realize it's actually like a trigger from childhood, I know it's my inner child being triggered. So then I would look at her and I would say, hey, nothing's going to happen to you. I'm here. I got your back. They will have to go through me before they could ever touch you again. You are safe. I'm going to protect you. I promise you nothing's going to happen to you. Even just saying that out loud to an imaginary younger version of me, my nervous system comes down. And then suddenly that inner child, which is still within you, calms down. And then you're reprogramming a lot of that old stuff from your childhood. So that was life-changing for me. So I don't know if this is something that helps, but with weight, sometimes that can be a big connection to that. As women, sometimes there might be a fear of being too thin, or other way around, whatever your trauma is, right? And for me, for instance, I have a lot of muscle mass because I know I have a lot of fear around, physically being taken advantage of. But then again, I don't mind it because it's not a bad thing. It keeps me fit. But that's the reason why I also have so much muscle mass. It's because I work out a lot because I'm protecting myself just in case. So, just things to think about, okay? But yes, this year, transformation. So work on your nervous system, work on reconnecting on yourself, and rise above these problems. If you rise above them, then your life will definitely change. But you got to do the work here, okay? So is there anything else I can help you with, Haley? Or do you feel like you got what you needed? Oh, you're welcome. So Reedy, you're next, and then I think it was D after. Macros First app nutrition tracking. The free version is great, and you can just scan barcodes. It's been a life-changing. Oh, that's cool advice. Thank you, Tim. Always helpful, Tim. So what's your question, Reedy? Do you have a question? So remember we did, oh, the void is on like you said, and I'm trusting it's worked itself out. Amazing. I'd like to ask about work. Okay. Let me just tune in. This one. Sales and visibility, all if it happened. Dad pride felt I shifted a timeline. I'm not sure what you mean by all of that, but sales and visibility, all of it happened. So you gotta be a little bit more specific with that one. Okay, so I'd like to ask about launching my new collection this year and what else is coming up for business for expansion. I also want to build my personal brand and be like an influencer of sorts after being on Emily in Paris. Oh, I remember. That's why I saw jewelry in my head. That's why. Okay, so it's you. A lot of things shifted overnight. Dad was proud and income and everything rolled in. I told you, girl, didn't I? I told you that last time. Okay, good. I'm excited for you. All right, so basically it's like, what's next? What can we go? Where can we go with this? All right, let's find out. Okay. I'm just concentrating. Ooh. Okay. Okay, they're all falling out. Ooh. God, Peanut, it's so much work. Isn't it, Peanut? Well, you manifested it, you manifested it before, so you can definitely manifest anything that you want, Reedy, and you seem like you're pretty focused, which is great. So the first thing that you got is a great card, okay? So you got the Empress. Lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yours. Nurture yourself and others. I'm reading broken today. It's very interesting. You got another major arcana. Life experience, Shamuel, a significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. Time to spread your wings. Then we got plans that need revision, more going on that meets the eye, poor timing. And then relationship develop to a new level, trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. Okay. So what I'm hearing here is that yes, it's definitely you're having these visions and like you having these desires because it's possible for you. You've already made something big happen, and you're definitely on a quest to make it grow. And there is abundance. I mean, this is definitely part of your life path for sure. To build this business, to build this whatever it is that your vision is. Nurture yourself and others. So, but the other thing that I'm hearing here is make it very important to like the relationships that you're building along the way are very important. So remember that as well, because it's not always just about like things and money and all that sort of stuff and status. It's like making it also something real and concrete with these people, because that's really how you grow deep down, building these true relationships. Yes, there's the business side, but there can also be something real behind all of that as well. So, I mean, I do see growth happening. It's pretty clear here. So you got the number 3 as well, which is the manifestation number. So again, remember with manifestation though, it's the formula of 3, right? So is the seed, the intention, then there is something that you always have to sacrifice to make it happen. Because it's just kind of how magic works, right? So if I want to create something, let's just say I want to become a doctor, I have to go and study. There's a level of sacrifice. If I want to become fit, then I have to sacrifice maybe some of my sleep to go to the gym or some of the foods that I like. So there is always something that we have to exchange, really. So just be aware of that. But I do see you on a quest and on a journey. Now, plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, poor timing. I think this is really just about let me hear it, tune into that, because I had it before and now I lost it, and I don't want to just like say something that I don't isn't clear. I feel like it's more just like expecting things to happen faster than they will, really. So just be a little bit aware of that. So that's the poor timing. Now that you got this boost, it's like, all right, what's next? What's next? What's next? And it's like, I'm hearing it's like, don't worry, it's going to get there. But the poor timing is like, don't expect everything to happen all at once. It's not how sometimes it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So now you've expanded your vision. Okay. So now you who are in, so let's just say, how can I explain this? This is you and this is your vision now. So you see how your vision is greater than you. You have to expand your container to match that now. Oh, I love that. Yes. So that takes a little bit of time. Okay. So be a little bit more patient. Yes, that's it. You got it. The nervous system has to expand, right? Because right now you're at this temperature and now you're trying to get higher temperature. And if you jump too fast, guess what happens? You're going to drop back down. So I think this is like saying, like, take your time, don't be afraid, trust the process. Because if you know 120% that you're going to get there, you're not going to rush. The reason why you're rushing is because really deep down, there's a part of you that's fearful that isn't going to get there. And so what you're really manifesting is the lack of. You see, if I know 100% that I'm going to get somewhere, whether it's going to take me a year or two, as long as I get there, I'm like, I know I'm going to get there. But the pushing and the pulling and the da 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 da, it's because I think it's going to go away. And therefore, I'm like, I have to get it now or it's going to be gone, right? So that's really just a fear-based mentality. So that's what I'm hearing about the bad timing. It's just like, just be aware of that. And I do not sure what's happening with your relationships in general, but I do feel like this is all very much related to a lot of your personal relationships. I think even when you said with your dad, maybe your dad being proud, but also with other people. So relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. So of course, as things grow, things can also, grow or change with other relationships because you are also changing. Possibly. Yeah, I do see things like possibly improving. So again, I do see so, and it could also just be new relationships as well. But trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. So don't lose that love because sometimes people come around. Sometimes it takes them a minute, but they might come around. So that'll be very nice. But yeah, it's good. It's looking good. You're on the right track, obviously. Like it's pretty clear. The first card that you got is just definitely say, yep, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing everything right. Just also but be patient as well. Don't expect everything to happen at once. And you don't want it to happen at once either. How boring. Like if we manifested everything now, then we can't enjoy it. I'll pull one card for you guys, but I feel like pretty much it's spoken last time. It's just gonna take some time, dude. Thank you, Lance. Got you. Oh, I'm sorry, Lance. Yes, I got you, dude. I've had bed bugs before, so I I know that one. Let me be with you 1 second. I'm just gonna pull one card for Reedy. They're just saying to focus on your work, love. Just focus. And you see, look, heart chakra jewelry. Okay, they love the idea of this. They're not bringing up anything about your friend right now, and I think the reason for that is because they want you to focus on work. So just let it rest, give it time. It still needs to sizzle down. It's still like boiling, if you like. All right, best of luck, Riddy. Okay, so Lance, so I lost a court case today after dealing with a bed bug infestation last year. How can you read? Help me with emotional and losing a court case. You're so welcome, Riddy. Yeah, Lance. So what we did when we had the bed bugs is that we got, just FYI for anybody who's bed bugs, spray stuff doesn't work. You have to, there's like a heating system that you do. They put heaters in the house and they literally cook the house and it kills the eggs and everything. And it helped. But I was getting bit and I was getting like welts all over my body. I had some allergic reaction to it. And the girl that lived in the other room, this is way before I obviously had my own place, she was the one who brought them in. Yeah. Did it work for you? What's up? Are you coughing? Yeah, it's the only thing that I know, and it's the safest thing because it's like chemical free. Sorry guys, just Peanuts doing a little. Are you okay? Are you okay, Noodles? Hey, want to say hi to everyone? Okay, bye-bye. All right, well, let's find out what I can do to help you. Sorry, we got distracted. Peanut is very distracting. He's freaking cute. Yeah, well, I have mites now, and those ones you can't get rid of. So I have a rescue, and unfortunately, they're just as bad. Luckily, we can manage it with medications on the animals, but yep, fun times. Actually, speaking of which, I got to give them their treatment. Okay. Peanut, that way. Thank you. Yeah, we only had to do it once, weirdly enough, so we didn't have to do it more than once. Oh, shoot. Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay, so the first card that came up was perspective. Okay, so right now you are obviously upset, and again, we're not trying to take this away from obviously what's going on because it sucks, man. Like, I'm with you. I know what it feels like. You feel so powerless, and it's like this. It's also, guys, I don't think you understand when it comes to like little critters and like bugs and stuff, like you can't sleep because you're just worried that you're gonna get bit all night. It's a whole thing. So I feel you, man. However, the way that you're seeing the situation right now obviously isn't serving you. It is what it is, and it sucks. That's the truth. And the cards essentially are saying that there is a better way, reflect and insight, dare to be different. So when this comes up, it's like when there's nothing that you can do about changing the situation, the only thing that you can change is your perspective on the situation. And here's a couple of things. One of them could be like, is this really going to matter in 5 years' time? Is this really going to be something that's going to bother you in 5 years' time? Or is it going to be something that's really going to change your life in 5 years' time? The next question is like, what am I learning from this? What did I learn? Because this is happening for a reason. It's not a coincidence, you know? And if I look back when I was in that situation, there were so many things that I learned from the shitty situations, really, unfortunately. And even though you're like, what do you learn from bed bugs? I mean, it wasn't obviously the bed bugs that you learned the situation from, maybe, but it was more like, how did it get to this, right? So was it like, I don't know if you have roommates. I don't know if you were suing like the landlord or if you were getting sued. I don't know what the situation is, right? But I learned subpoena a witness if they refuse to testify. That's a good one. You're getting skills there, my friend. But it's the kind of thing that it's like, you know, we hold on to these things that we cannot change and we create more suffering. So it's almost like you're probably going to laugh about this hopefully in like 20 years time, or it's going to be something that you're going to look back on and maybe give somebody great advice. But sometimes when these things happen, is like, how can I lean into this and get curious as opposed to becoming a victim of it? From a victim standpoint, even though you are a victim, probably in this situation, you can't change anything as a victim. There's nothing that you can do because as a victim, you have no power. Victim means I'm giving the outside world, the courts, the judges, the bedbugs, all the power. It's something outside of me. And as long as it's outside of me, I have no power. So how can I take my power back in this situation and learn from this and grow from this and get curious? And even from a spiritual perspective, what was I meant to learn from this? What was it that I didn't speak up on or didn't stand for myself? Or maybe I did stand out for myself and I wasn't heard. I don't know what the situation is, of course, because you have to go into detail about it. But what I'm hearing here, if you want to feel better about it, you just got to shift your perspective. When we change our perspective, the things that we look at change. And we no longer see them that specific way. And I know that so many of you who are watching have had that experience where once upon a time something that was so horrible and so tragic turned out to sometimes be the biggest blessing ever, or might have taught you something very important in life. So we have to remember that as well. And I know it's a hard lesson, but it is what it is. And life sucks sometimes. Honestly, life is really awful. But if you put things in perspective, it could be so much worse. There's people who have lost their home in a fire. There's people who have been tortured. I mean, we can illness. Like there's so many other things that we can, sometimes I think about it, like when I feel sorry for myself and I think of something that somebody else is going through, it puts me in perspective so fast. I'm like, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it sucks, but like, I'm good. I'm happy. I've got a beautiful home. I've got a beautiful husband. I've got so many things to be grateful for. That's the other thing, is like, what are you grateful for? So again, I know this is not what you want to hear, Lance, because it's like, it still fucking sucks. But at the same time, it's like, how can I begin to use this in my favor as opposed to use it against me? Because again, it happened and you can't change it, but what can you change? So there you go. Yes. So again, and this is like a game that you can play with yourself. And it's, I mean, look, I've had a few friends right now going through something that I can't even like begin to explain how bad it is. Like, so one of my friends is getting stalked and accused of all sorts of crazy things, and the person's obviously mentally ill. And he entertained the same idea too. It's like, as opposed to seeing this as something against me, he said, I'm gonna lean into it and get curious. Even though he is the victim in this situation, this is happening to him, and this person is stalking him and threatening him. He was like, I have to see, because he had a lot of like abuse in childhood, and this is somehow manifesting again. And I told him, I was like, from what I've seen these people do, is the minute they lean into it and get curious as opposed to running away from it, because what you resist persists, suddenly those things tend to dissolve or get better. So yeah, it's all about perspective, right? The next thing is, follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge, opportunities, and excitement and adventure. So, Lance, what I'm hearing here is that honestly, there is something positive behind this. And what I'm hearing is that this is probably going to light a little bit of a fire under your ass. Because sometimes when these things happen, when we get so frustrated and so pissed off of the situation, what happens usually? Change. We make some kind of a change, whether it's to sell the place, move out. That's what I did. I moved out eventually because I was like, I'm not living with these idiots. And again, by the way, at the time I was making like no money. I lived in an absolute dump, and I was paying $600 a month of rent for a room that didn't even fit a bed in there. Just to give you guys an idea, the bathroom was full of mold, so, but it motivates you even like spiritually to try and get out of this situation, because it's like, I'm not putting up with this. Your tolerance, you don't tolerate that crap anymore. So there's a part of you that changes as well because of the pain, because of the suffering, because of these events. Something as stupid as bed bugs, but it can be a nightmare. Like, people don't understand how bad it can get because you're getting bit, and like, trust me, I get it. So the point is, this is actually bringing in some level of change in your life. So again, looking at perspective, it's like, why is this happening to me? Because maybe there's something that needs to be changed in your life that you're not seeing, and it's motivating you to make that change. I don't know what that is for you, okay? But I'm hearing that. Now, one thing I do hear though is that you are mentally, you're having some kind of a conflict with yourself. thought it was a bruise. You're like, great. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, like, great, or like, great. So there's like, it's better if you just make a decision over analyzing a problem, finding a compromise. So I feel like, again, there's a lot of like conflict in your mind, and you can't get your mind to follow through with like agree on a thought. That's the best word that I was looking for. So wisdom and objectivity are important. Now, stay in your integrity, a situation that calls for honest and open communication. So I feel like this is really just like, you see he's got his arms crossed and he's like being very stubborn and like defensive about something. And I feel like, again, rightfully so, I feel like this is kind of how you feel right now. See. So again, it's all this tension that you've created, and like it's physical and it's mental. So you've got all of this resistance, all of this anger, all of this like built up tension in you. You gotta let it go, dude. Because the only way you're gonna feel better is if you find a way to sort of find some kind of resolution within yourself, and whether it's to fully accept the fact that you lost and that it is what it is. Because sometimes when we accept it, then we can change it. But as long as we hold on to it, we can't see any other option. Again, changing perspective, okay? Goes back to always the first card. So time is a healer for sure, but also you have some power on that. Again, if you're holding on to this and you're holding on to the same thought and you're playing that story over and over like a broken record in your head, then you're going to be in that time loop forever. So if you begin to change that record, change the thought, change the pattern, start changing the story that you're telling yourself right now, that can change also the timing of things that will happen. We do have some level of control with that. So, instead of saying, oh, this is effed and, it's not fair and, all these sort of things, which again, I'm not trying to take away the validity of it, but that story doesn't help you move on. So what is the story that you can start telling yourself that's going to help you move on, and it's going to relax your body? Whether it's, okay, I lost the court case. This sucks. There's nothing. That's that. Now what? Instead of holding on to like, okay, that's the past. Like, now what? What can I do next? How can I make a decision to move forward? Because when you relax, then you relax your energy, and then you relax your perspective, and then you can see more options. Again, it will make sense to you. But as of now, when you're stuck and you're stubborn, you're like this, you don't see anything else outside of what that's in front of you. And it's very hard to see any hope or any possibilities. Trust me, once you relax, it's going to be like, oh yeah, I could do this and I could do that. Or I could, I don't know, start bungee jumping to release some of that tension. Like, even if it's something as silly as that. But the point is, right now, it's just this obsessive thinking. And this is also why the headaches and the physical like tightness. So you got to be aware of that, because that's going to cause even more stress. It's going to make you like a little temperamental as well, which you don't want. So I don't know if I helped you to feel better, but what I can tell you is that relax your mind, try to get your thoughts to align. Yeah, because you're also like, your mind comes back to a loss because you're too tense still, okay? You can just go out and have some fun, man. Like, you need to relax for a minute. I think this has been something that has been going on for quite some time, and it's probably consumed your everyday moment, right? From morning to night, all you thought about is these freaking bed bugs and the court case and the people involved, right? So when that consumes you, there's nothing else that you can, there's no openness, there's no room in your energy to allow anything else to enter. It's like when I tell people when they want to create a new love relationship, if you keep obsessing over your ex, your heart is already taken. There's already like somebody living in your heart. You got no room for somebody else to come in. So this is the same thing in your mind. Your mind is taken up with this thought, with this 24/7, this freaking bed bugs. And now it's what could have happened? What if I said this? What if I did that? It's still attached to it, to something that you can't change now. And so as long as this situation is getting free rent in your mind, there is nothing else that can come in. And so you have to somehow empty out. Whether it's to do meditation, go to a class or something, find something that is like out of your routine to break that cycle, to break that pattern, so that you can start getting new ideas. And people might give you better suggestions as well. Or maybe something new might come in that like might free up that like chaos. Does that make sense? So start just noticing where you're at and how much this is taking up space in your mind. Because again, that's you being in control of it, even though it feels like you don't. You're the one who's choosing these thoughts, and it's also like you have to be careful because these things can get imprinted into your subconscious. And sometimes it's also just a coping mechanism, right? Because our mind needs to constantly look for problems when there's no problem. It's a safety default mechanism. And I've noticed my brain do that a lot lately, where I'm like happy and nothing, and it starts going down this rabbit hole, creating scenarios that don't even exist. And I'm like, why am I doing that? But I realize it's just the mind does this. It needs to create issues because it's, number one, looking out for danger that doesn't exist. It's prepping itself for it. But you have the power then to go, I don't want to think of this. I have the choice to think of something that actually helps me right now, as opposed to make me feel like shit. Do you know what I mean? Does this serve me? Exactly. So, but then add something else to that. What can serve me right now? Or what thought could I have that could serve me right now? Right? Because if you leave it empty, then it's going to quickly go back to it again. So you have to tell your brain where to go. It's not enough just to ask the question. It's more important to say what to think. Now I need you to think of this. And this is what I do, guys. I am a meditation coach. So I'm very good at understanding how the mind works. I'm not perfect, but I understand a lot of like traumas and obsessive thinking and mental problems. I mean, you name it, I've had it all. And if I don't do these practices, I would be probably in a loony bin. But like I would be tortured, you know, and I know a lot of you are tortured because how this goes. So Lance, is there anything else that I can help you with? I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping that I got you somewhere here where you feel like you've got something to work with at least. I would also suggest maybe some affirmations to do. Again, will preach about affirmations until the day I die because it's changed my life. But I don't know what works for you, but some kind of practice that starts breaking that broken record, because that's, you know, I would suggest just creating your own, to be quite honest. That's what I do. I write them down every morning. And I usually custom my meditations based on either what I need to heal or what I want to manifest. So I just create specific repetitive thoughts around what I want to heal and what I'm ready to manifest, you know. So it could be something for you like... everything always works out to be in my best interest, and then anything to do with this case, if you like, but shifting it into some kind of positive for you, even though it's like obviously right now a negative. There is something wonderful that's going to come out of this court case. Even though I cannot see it, I trust it. I trust myself to alchemize the situation into something beautiful and powerful. So you feel the difference in the energy when you start changing that. So you're using this darkness, this anger, this frustration, and using it as fuel to feed your energy field to manifest something good. Because now, if you think about it, you've got a huge buildup of energy in you, right? When you're angry, when you're pissed off, when you're hurt, there is a ton of energy in our frequency, in our system. And if we don't alchemize it, it's going to destroy us. But if we alchemize it, it can become a very powerful tool to manifest and speed up that manifestation 10 times more than it would any other time. So use it as an opportunity. And again, this is all about perspective. This is what I was talking about. Intentional task, bestspokely created to people us forward in a positive direction, will satisfy the mind that wants to work on a problem. Lance, you're the best. Ah, that's nice. Maybe I should run on a treadmill and sprint for 20 minutes. Hey, if that helps. I also do intentional workout energy. So if I have, because of a lot of the trauma from my childhood, I sometimes have a lot of like nightmares. And so when I work out in the morning, I channel that negative energy and I use it as fuel to work out, but then I also release it, because you don't want to just, you know, when you're sweating or whatever, you're just seeing this like negative energy evaporating out of your system. So, or channeling it into certain areas to help you. Oh, thank you, Jude. I appreciate that. So does that help you, man? Like, you got to remember that what you do have control over, Lance, is your thoughts and your emotions right now. And so focus on that. Focus on what you can control and what you can change, as opposed to what happened and what you can't shift anymore, because it's done. By the way, Dee, are you still here? I don't know if I got your reading. I will when I get over it. Well, I know, man. It's easier said than done, dude. I know, I understand. Especially if you're still dealing with the whole, like, situation. I totally feel you. But, again, if you want to look at perspectives, I feel like there's so many other things that could be worse. And so I know it's easier said than done, but try to look at it from that way. Be proud of what you have achieved rather than focusing on the loss that is not a loss. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, again, Lance, you know, like there's so many other things that could happen, you know, and again, not trying to take away the validity of the suffering, but sometimes it helps just to, again, put things in perspective. It's like, I have a home, I have a car, I have money in my bank account, I have a stable job, I have this, I have that. So all these things can really, like, all right, this sucks, but it could be worse. And I'm glad that I have so much, you know. Thank you, Johnny. So best of luck, dude. Come back and let me know how it goes. I feel you. I'm telling you. Johnny, what's up, my friend? How we doing? You're welcome. For the next few months? Sure. Okay, so let's see. 1 second. I have been focusing a lot on trying to release as the year of the wood snake comes to an end, but I feel I still have a lot to release. Yes, the healing journey, guys, never ends. That's the fun part of being human. Isn't that right, Peanut? Oh, we got a little gremlins right now. Were you being gremlins? Were you being mad at mommy because she got you? She moved you? Oh, the baby boy. Of Lance's reading? Okay. See? Peanut is suffering. You have a hard life, Peanut. It's such a hard life, isn't it? Okay, so let me tune in. So, Johnny, I heard work is stressing you out a lot. I don't know if that's true. You can let me know in the comment. Something to do with work. One down. Ooh, okay. Yeah, so your financial situation is okay. Interesting. Are you not impressed, Peanut? Are you not impressed, Peanut? Okay, so that makes sense, actually. Oh, okay. This is an interesting combination. So, Johnny, we got the lovers, but what I'm really seeing here is your heart chakra. Again, this could also, it's usually related to relationships. Could be the relationship with somebody from your past, could be the relationship with yourself, with somebody possible right now, could be an actual partner. But what I saw really was the heart chakra needs healing right now for you. And so this thing that you're trying to release for the year, I think you're projecting it onto things. And what I'm hearing, it's really in here in the heart. Abundance sometimes is a lot to do with the heart. We It's kind of like thinking about your self-worth or your value, how you value yourself, um, is sometimes what we've been taught or how we've been treated. And so some people don't make that connection that they can't manifest money because of their heart chakra. They think it's more like a solar plexus thing, or a self-esteem thing, which yes, it's also there, but it does a lot for a lot of people stem from the heart. So I'm hearing here, Johnny, that it's like if you could heal a little bit of that heart stuff, it's going to open up doors for you. So there is something that is painful in your heart. I feel like maybe an old relationship or something. That is like a weight. That is something that is like, it's affecting a little bit of your self-esteem. It's affecting also the way that I feel like you treat yourself, the way that you speak to yourself or you behave around yourself. Something that I think that maybe you've learned. And that is a negative cycle that is creating a lot of this suffering. So again, healing heart chakra, possible even relationships. Like one of the main reasons as well, and this is going to sound really selfish, but it's true. One of the main reasons why I want to heal the relationship with my parents is because I know for a fact that it's blocking a lot of my abundance. And so that's important to me, and it's a win-win for everybody, and it's a motivation for me because I've made the connection. So I'm not quite sure what that is for you, but there is something here around the heart chakra, which is why I think it's kind of like I always say to people, it's like healing is a wonderful thing, and always healing is great, but healing is a never-ending process. But some of us have more specific things to heal than others, our lessons, the things that we've learned. And when we heal those things, healing, remember, is the opposite of the other thing, right? So if I break my arm, the healing is the mending. If I am poor, the healing is becoming rich. If I'm sad and depressed, the healing is the happiness and, finding love. So, oh shit, now I lost my trail of thought. Doesn't matter because obviously I didn't need to say it. Thanks, Lance. It's so nice to meet you, by the way. Thanks for being here. So anyway, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that the heart chakra came up. Okay, so what this is doing is mudding a little bit of your direction and intention. And so what is just required of you, Johnny, is to find like clarity in what you want. Purpose, action, purposeful action. So it's almost like this thing is distracting you from where you need to go, or this thing is constantly like pulling you out of alignment, or it's like you think you're going forward, but then it's like a detour kind of thing. I don't know how to describe it, but I hope it's making sense to you. So the more you clear out this heart stuff, this thing in your heart, the clearer it's going to be for you to find that direction to wherever it is that you want to go. Now, I will say, we did get the Tower card. Now, I do feel like something's going to happen where it's going to cause a little bit of like a disruption, or some kind of a change. Like it's going to be some adjustment that's going to be needed to make at some point here. Now, I do also see, for instance, inner child stuff, so I don't know if the heart stuff is related to that. But again, a lot of green heart chakra stuff. Let me just read again. Yeah, so I want to hear what else they had. I want to go back to what I was saying because there was something in there. Ooh, okay. So the heart chakra stuff is preventing you from stepping into your it's a weird word, royal self, royalty self, like divine self, worthy self, godly self. So it's this thing that is keeping you in a way humble, but not in a good way humble. Um, that's what I saw. I'm going to go with that. So it's basically like not being afraid to be in your power and your strength. And you see this fire, right? So moving into that energy of the fire. But we got to remember, guys, with healing. Oh, now I remember what I was saying. Okay, thank God. So what I was saying before with healing is that basically, like, we're humans, and we're like a car, right? So if I heal, if for instance I have a flat tire, but I change the engine's gonna run better, but I haven't fixed the problem. I'm still a car that's running with a flat tire, Johnny. So the reason why I'm saying this is, like, I feel like that's what you've been doing. You've been healing things, right? And you've been doing the work, but you haven't healed the thing that you need to heal, which is the tire. Okay, so a lot of the times it's like, this is why you feel like you haven't released it completely, because you haven't released the right thing, whatever that is. So again, we all have specific lessons in our lives that we need to focus on more than others. We can all do different type of healing work, right? But when we find the right one for us, that's when our life changes, because we've found the key, we've unlocked that door, we've like, aha, got you. But there's always levels to it. So I will say for you all to be very careful when it comes to healing, because I used to be in this trap. Is like, when is it going to end? When am I going to find peace? When am I going to find happiness? This planet is not designed for that. As long as the system that we have, unfortunately, we're all connected, it's going to be very difficult for us to find that absolute peace and that final moment. That you're going to find that when you die. That's when you're going to find it. So the truth is, we're always going to have something to heal or work on or manage, or like, that's the agreement that we made when we came into physical form. So when we can accept that, it makes it easier for us to deal with. But if we're like, oh, it's just so painful and it's never going to end and it's like so much suffering, which, yes, that's the truth, by the way. But that, again, is that victim mentality, which again is valid, but you can't do anything from that place. The other thing that I'm hearing, Johnny, as well, is like your intuition. You got to trust your intuition a little bit more, okay? Like, I feel like, again, you know what to do. And I don't feel like you don't do it, but there's something that maybe you question or you think is a little crazy, or it's a little out there, or you feel like that's a weird thought. Like, don't be afraid of, like, exploring it, even no matter how weird it is. Large items I have been trying to, yeah. So I don't know. I just see heart chakra. So again, try it. Worst case scenario, you feel better. Best case scenario, you unlock something powerful, right? So, but yeah, I keep, and I think it's to do with inner child stuff again, Johnny. I don't know why. Maybe it's always defaulting back to inner child stuff because it's so much inner child stuff always, but it could also mean just like finding that childlike joy back. But I just feel heart chakra stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. But don't be afraid of your intuition. And if something feels weird, but it's like, just be curious. It's my new thing, by the way, guys. It's like, I'm just going to be curious. If something comes up, I'm just curious. I'm just going to be curious about it. I'm going to listen. I'm going to, dive into it and just notice what comes up. So does that make sense? I feel like, do you need anything else? Like, just let me know if you need any more information or anything else that can help you with it. Are you snoring, Peanut? Little doo-doos. Little munchkin. Yeah, I love you. Carla, yeah, for sure, man. Just checking in with Johnny, making sure that, yes, thank you. Like Lance, I tried to take legal action, but it didn't get very far and I stopped, but there are still some avenues to explore. I mean, again, and like I said, with this stuff, you'd be surprised at how much it might not even have to do with the actual court case itself. It could do with some fucking trauma that happened like 60 years ago that is somehow coming back to the surface and it's manifesting in a court case. Like, I'm telling you, it's so weird. That's how the subconscious mind works. So just explore the heart. Just do some heart work. I do think I might have some Oh, I forgot. Let me see if I did put some new meditations up. Um, I do know I have some heart chakra. Let's see if I can find it. No. Mm-mm. Radical self-acceptance meditation could be a good one. I'll pin it there for you guys just in case. But yeah. But yeah, just have a look through my meditations. I'm sure there is something there for heart chakra healing. I know I've done one at some point, so go and check it out because that might help you with clearing out the heart stuff. You're welcome, Johnny. Best of luck. I'm sorry you're going through this, by the way, man. I feel for you. Carla, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? I see all your little bubble heads. Yeah, guys, I'm tired lately. I don't know what's going on with me, but that's okay. I mean, and listen, just because I've been sleeping in doesn't mean haven't been doing like 6 million things, but I am getting a lot of auditions. I've been back to acting class, rehearsing, cleaning, taking care of the little munchkins. Little noodles. I love you. I'm looking for general guidance on 2 issues, but they are related. Basically, I need to know if there is a right action I can take for either. Let me know if you need more info. We can see what comes up. I'm just going to disconnect from Johnny. Unplugging. Replugging. Okay, well, let's see what comes up. Peanut, peanut. He's not impressed by Mom right now. He's like, Mom, stop embarrassing me, man. Ooh. That was an evil laugh, by the way, guys. So yeah, so 2 of air. So you see how there's like a cross there and two things, like there can be a meeting in the middle, I think. But I also heard, Carla, and again, if you want to give me more information, that's fine. But I also heard, let me just maybe give you a little bit of what I see and then it might make sense. That even though they are related, they still need to be dealt with as separate. And the reason for that is kind of like, and I don't know why I think about kids when you grow up kids, you know, it's like even though they're from the same family, both kids need different attention and different parenting techniques because they're 2 different individuals. So yes, it's the same thing, but the energies still need something different in order to be resolved. Now, the good thing is I do see a breakthrough, okay? So I do see you eventually coming out of this, and it's saying your wishes come true, concerns fade away, a love of life, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. And then fear surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. So I don't know if this is all related, but again, the point is that I'm like, I think the main thing that came up here is that yes, even though they're intertwined, like I said, think of it like 2 kids, they need attention differently, or they need a different energy or response. It will get better, and there is some level of forgiveness again. I'm trying to see if anything else is coming up. It's pretty straightforward, but I don't know. Let me know if there's anything else like that might help you with it. Peanut. been working hard. What's that? That better not be a tick. Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. So how would you like it to go deeper? Let me know. Because I'm getting probably the surface of the situation, but if you want to go deeper, we can totally do that. Yeah, he's a little munchkin. He's a little baby. That was cute. Can you do the nose thing? When you do this. I love it when you do this. This is Peanut. You almost did it. So I'm just waiting for Carla to message back. In the meantime, we can all enjoy the cuteness of Peanut. Yeah? Can I have a kiss? I love you. She's 80 and in decline. My siblings aren't doing a good job with her, but I'm not sure how to deal with them. I might have to get aggressive. Ooh. Okay, so let's see what's going on. That does help, but it makes sense why maybe the different energies. I would say probably assertive might be a better word, Carla, because aggression never gets... Oh man, you got the same card. Okay, that's good. Great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. So, take her out of care. I don't want another legal battle. I say aggressive because the legal... Oh, okay, I see what you mean. I mean, listen, I get aggressive all the time. So the only reason why that's why I'm saying that, but I see what you mean. Yeah, this is really complicated, man. So again, what I'm seeing here as well, it's like the protecting of the innocence, right? The fragile. I'm just reading them. Give me 1 second. A content and reward family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. I might need to get some more cards here because I don't feel like these ones are giving me the full picture, to be quite honest. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay, that one wants to come out. You know, that's what I'm saying. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't... The aggression makes you feel better. And that's pretty much where it ends. So, it's so funny. I got triggered so badly the other day because the full moon was like activating some old stuff in me, and I wanted to smash up the house. I was like literally plotting to break some of the mirrors downstairs. I was like, I can buy new ones, whatever. So it is very complicated. Oops, sorry, Peanut. Yeah, I'm seeing it's very complicated, honestly. Like one thing that's coming up, Carla, is the timing isn't great for some reason. Yeah. Because timing came out. Something about the timing not being right. And I feel like there's like... so this card is hitting me. Even though the message says one thing, I'm seeing something different in this one. So you see these two mermaids that are like stealing the cups, leaving the child at the top by himself. Yeah. I feel like this is how you feel right now, right? That these mermaids are stealing. Yeah, you're the child, and then they're stealing. Like the cup represents emotions and things that valuable to you, like, you know, your mother or whatever is going on, or is it the grandmother? Sorry. Yeah. So there's a level of like carelessness and greed where they're more focused on themselves than the actual your mom. And so it's bringing out this, number one, traumas in you from when you were a child, so it's bringing up a lot of like old stuff, so it's causing a lot of obviously emotions and like triggers here. But on top of that, it's also like making you feel powerless and kind of like a child, right? It's like they're in charge, and it's like yeah, the layers are deep. But again, I do feel like, again, it still makes sense with the two, how to deal with the situation. It's like, sorry guys, Peanut just farted again. It was loud. What timing, Peanut? Sorry. Scared the shit out of me. Oh, that was funny. Second fart of the day, Peanut. Good job. Sorry, Carla. I think Peanut knows how to like boost our mood for a minute. So anyway, what I'm hearing here is just like, don't jump into action so quickly, because I mean, again, I feel like, yes, you got to take action. I don't feel like you should not do anything, because I do see a masculine energy. So the emperor, so I feel like you got to take the father figure in this situation, like you're becoming like the masculine who takes the power back, who takes control, who has to step up. And I do see like, partly I actually see this as your mother, and partly I also see this as a little bit of a reflection of you. It's like being stuck and like helpless and hopeless, and for you it's more the mental, for her it's more the physical. But I want to get more, and I feel like this is almost not even so much about your mom, it's more about what's happening with your siblings. So what I'm hearing here at the end of the day, it's like the real important thing is, number one, I don't know if the two things that you meant was one like the siblings and the other situation was your mom. I don't know if that's what you meant by the two things, which is still means you got to deal with them differently. But when it comes to family, man, it's like you can't teach the stupid smart things. And I don't mean this in an offensive way. It's like some people are just emotionally, you know what I mean? And trying to fix them, trying to get them to see it, trying to go, can you not see what you're doing? The answer is always going to be right now, no. Because if they saw it, I'd like to think that most people would do something about it. There you go, Kat. Like, I like that. I was going to use another word, but that one's more politically correct. um, this is why I feel like taking charge. Yes. I think, though, the problem is what I'm hearing here is that you got to do it in such a way where it makes them feel like it's benefiting them. Because I feel like it could create more issues between you guys, if that makes any sense. So it's almost like, the good thing with people who are not very emotionally intelligent is that they're easier to handle, because you're always 3 steps ahead, right? If you can be calm and centered when you walk in. And I mean this in a win-win situation, not in trying to take something from them or taking advantage of the situation. Yes. So when you see yourself as the father figure, Carla, it's almost like it doesn't have to be fair, it just has to be just, is one of my favorite saying. Is like your ego, your pride, the fact that you're doing the right thing. Sometimes part of us, especially if we're the kid, want to be acknowledged for it. Like, I'm coming here to save the day and you should see how I'm right. And even though that is the case, not going to happen. So it's almost like you have to walk in with, I'm going to make it look like you guys are doing me a favor, because it's the only way you're going to get in without the drama. And so when you do it that way, they're more likely to hand over whatever it is that you can do to help the situation, as opposed to creating all of these arguments and fights, which slows down the process and it could stress your mom out. So this is also why I was saying, like, managing the situation differently. You got to be smart about it. You can't be emotional about it. I don't see money right now. I did see new love, like new love energy, new opportunity. But I do think that this is more about like new opportunity to shift the relationship with them. I don't see money right now. Seeing what I'm seeing, you know what I mean? It's more to do with like just do what is right for you and for her. Because if there was money, then I'd probably see money in there, and I don't really see any yet. It's one of those things, Carla, that you have to ask yourself. It's like, if you look back and you didn't do anything, how would you feel about it? Yeah. Well, I mean, you also got to protect yourself too. So this is what I'm saying. It's like it's tough because yeah. So I'd say just give it a little bit longer. But in the meantime, what I would do if I were you, what I'm hearing, because it did say plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, poor timing. So what I'm hearing now is like, instead of like, again, because you're having an emotional reaction, which is totally understandable because you want to rescue, you want to save, you want to fix the situation, which is normal. But the situation's probably been like this for quite some time, and it's not like, I don't feel like, yes, it needs to change, but I don't feel like a few more weeks or days is going to probably make a big difference. What I'm hearing is that what you can do right now is just give yourself a little bit of time to think about, have a plan. When it's the time, you're going to know when to step in. It's going to feel right to you, but don't do it out of a knee jerk reaction because it's like you're angry or frustrated. Because again, that's the forgiveness as well that needs to happen. You got to forgive those who do not know. And that's the only thing of the Bible that I actually like. It's like, forgive those who do not know, because they don't know. I mean, and I mean this with, people who are emotionally stupid. And I'm sorry to say that. It's like they don't do the work, they don't think, they're just like reacting out of trauma and stuff. They're going to make stupid decisions. And it's very difficult to reason with them. Yeah. So, and I feel that because I've have people in my life sometimes who are like that. They have the potential, by the way, for being not that. Is that they're choosing that because it's easier. Okay. So I'd say in the meantime, just make a plan on what you can do. Just think of it really like, think of it as if you could take her on or whatever, but think of it like the best way possible, so that if it does come, you're ready and you're not like using emotions to push through it, as opposed to going in tactfully and managing the situation the highest way possible. Yeah. Well, it's also because like, why would they want to listen to you? You know what I mean? It's like how they have power over you. You know what I mean? So it's a hard one, and sometimes you also have to accept the fact that you might not. I don't know if this is the case, but like sometimes happens with some people. It's like you're not going to win no matter what you try, and so the best thing you can do is just let them be. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, dude. I mean, I feel like I mean, again, it doesn't have to be a week, maybe a couple of days, but give yourself time to think about you know, yeah, but it's also one of those things you got to ask yourself. It's like, what am I going to regret the most here? If she does pass away, let's just say next week, what am I going to look back and regret that I did or didn't do? I think that's the best way that's how I would handle it, because then I can look back and go, I did everything in my power and I knew that that was the right thing for me and for her. But at the same time, if you go in with that urgency, with that emotion, you can make things worse, because you create more drama by accidentally trying to do the right thing, right? Because if you know that you're going to go in there and it's just going to create more friction between the family, that's not good either, right? So that's what I mean by give yourself the time to think about how you're going to do this, if you're going to do it, and then take action and have a set plan. So you're more intellectually going into this as opposed to emotionally, because when it comes to family, it's a really hard one. You know what I mean? I'm sorry you're going through this. It's really tough. Queen of Strategy, I just learning not to misuse it into over analyzing and pushing myself into a frenzy. Yeah. Well, if you know you got it and you trust yourself, I mean, I see you as the emperor, honestly. Like, I feel like you got this, but again, I think the key ingredient here that you had to hear, it's almost like you have to go in making it look like they're doing you a favor as opposed to the other way around. And I don't want to say like manipulation because it still has to come from a genuine place, but yeah, but it's, and like you can do that without saying or doing anything bad. It's just coming in with like that, yeah, with that sweet energy as opposed to like the bulldozer, which would be me and Peanut. Peanut would be a bulldozer. You are sweet now because you're with Mummy, but you're a little gremlin. Chihuahua energy. Don't underestimate the Chihuahua power, guys. So yeah, I hope that made sense, Carla. I know it's a lot. I feel like there's so much to it that it's just like, even for me, it's hard to like dive into it. But I do see a new opportunity as well by changing how you react to your siblings. There's like an opportunity here for like new way of establishing that relationship between you guys, which can be a very positive thing for all involved somehow. Peanut, you look silly. You little farty machine. Okay, well, keep me posted, all right? And best of luck with sending you love. Hi, Javi. Welcome. Ooh, speaking of which. Oh, you just reminded me, Javi. It's my nephew's birthday today, and his name is Javi. Cool. All right, guys. Well, if anybody else has any more questions at all about spirituality, my work, or they would like me to pull also a card for them, feel free to ask. Oh, thank you, Carla. Feel free to ask. Peanut also will take questions if anybody would like to ask Peanut any questions. Look at him. He's working very hard today. Haven't you, Peanut? Yeah. Such a baby. Ah, thanks, Harvey. I will let him know that a man named Harvey said happy birthday to him. He'll be very confused. He's a little boy. He'll be like, what? Sure, Tim. I'm happy to pull a card for you. Let's see what comes up. Peanut, for what's Peanut having? It's in for food? Why he farts so much? He has a lot of vegetables. That's why. Don't you, Peanut? He gets lots of love. He gets lots of toys. And he has lots of veggies. Ooh. So, Tim, you got the card 5 of Earth. Fear surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. Brain is not connecting today. So, interesting. So what I'm hearing here, Tim, for you, it's like heart chakra stuff again and energy. So there's an imbalance again with the energy exchange, and we know this because you've been coming here for a minute. So again, they're just reiterating some of the stuff. Like, I want you to think of it this way. When you give love, you're giving like $100 and you're getting like $20 back. So I want you to think of the exchange of energy that you start giving the world. I want you to start seeing yourself as an abundant person in love. And abundance doesn't mean I'm giving all of it. There's a level of exchange and receive. In fact, abundant people sometimes take more than what they give. I don't want you to be selfish, obviously. That's not what we're saying, because I don't think you're even capable of that. But what I'm saying here is, like, instead of looking at it from a place of like, what can I give, or how do I get to, what do I have to do to get this, right? It's like, I'm enough. And that's an abundant mindset. I don't have to do anything to be worthy. I don't have to change anything to be loved. I don't have to, that's probably the best way I could even put it, right? So I'm worthy enough just as I am. And seeing yourself abundant as you are now, and seeing that energy within you, that is something that people desire and that they want. So Because oftentimes we can't create love because we just see ourselves as empty and not worthy and not this. I'm not pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not whatever, right? I'm too fucked up, or whatever the story that we tell ourselves. And that emptiness also is what we put out, and that's what we're trying to fill up. And if you're already full, anything that comes towards you is just adding up, adding more. So there's nothing that anybody can really give you. They can only just add to your life. That's why I always feel like, especially like I had the when I was younger, I had the issue of wanting to be rescued because I had so many daddy issues. And when I started rescuing myself and filling my own cup, then of course I met my husband, and then it's like he just adds to my life. And I think if you don't have somebody who adds to your life, then they're not right. Because if they're taking from your life, then there's a problem, I think. So when people come in and they just add more and more joy, more love, more abundance, I hear so many people's like, oh, I don't have time for a relationship because they drain me. And I'm like, my relationship gives me energy. My relationship gives me more. It never took anything away from me. So this is something that I feel like it's very important for you to understand about love. Love is not something that you have to do anything. It's just you're the gift. You don't have to give anything. You don't have to prove anything. Who you are should fit perfectly with the person, with the right person. And just you guys complement each other and add more to each other's lives just by being who you are. Interesting concept how it came up. What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yeah. Can I help you? What? What do you want? Are you... Oh. Sorry, I have to share because it's just being adorable. You just need someone like Peanut who's obsessed over you. But I think that's the compliment, right? It's like when somebody loves you the right way, I feel like some people, like that's why the love languages are so important, right? So for me, it's time spent together, and for my husband is affection, and I'm a very affectionate person, and he likes to spend time with me. So we just, by not trying, we just fill up each other's cups. Of course, it's never perfect, but those are the things that just work. And so just by being who we are, me by being affectionate to somebody who doesn't like affection, I could be super annoying. You know what I mean? Hey, CG's in the house. Welcome. Yeah, but I think with you, it's just really beginning to see yourself as enough and start building up that self-worth and that self-respect, because when you have that, that is very attractive. Trust me. When you have that centeredness within yourself, people look at you differently. People who have desperate energy, and this was me, people can smell it on you a mile away. And it repulses people, and so I had to work very, very hard not to have that desperate energy, because I was so desperate for love in my younger years, and it just pushes people away because you're desperate, because you're so empty. There's like, you're so empty. And I'm not saying that's you, Tim, but I'm saying I do think that you have some aspects of that. So that's why we go all over and beyond to make a relationship work, or we try too hard to make somebody love us, A lot more at work. My supervisor even had my back when I put my foot down. Yeah, and refused to train the new person because I'm not getting the team lead salary and I do enough. See? Good job, man. I love that. What do you think, Peanut? Peanut is very good with boundaries. He knows how to say no and yes. He actually teaches my husband a lot, because my husband always is jealous of Peanut because he's like obsessed with me, and I keep telling him, because he gets more like affection sometimes, and I tell him, it's like, the difference between you and Peanut? Peanut doesn't ask, he just goes and gets it. You ask me for permission, I'm like, just go and get it. You should learn from Peanut. I'm also 2 weeks into my non-smoking year. Ooh, amazing, Tim. That's incredible. 2 weeks is amazing, dude. That's really hard. Yeah, it's honestly, you're gonna be tempted and tested, and it's yeah, it's a hard one. But I promise you, it gets to a point where you don't even think about it. It gets to a point where it's no longer, because when I used to smoke, was the same thing all day, every day. I used to wake up in the morning, first thing I thought about, first thing I did, last thing I did, last thing I thought about, and then those thoughts get filled up with other things, you know. So that's amazing, dude. Congrats. What are you doing, Peanut? Are you showing everybody how cute you are? Yeah, you like to show off. Cool, guys. Well, any more questions before we close out? Thanks for hanging out, by the way, guys. I see all your beautiful faces. And by the way, for those of you who don't know me, hi, welcome. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. And for the regulars, I love you guys. Oh, did it? Okay, perfect. See, there you go. Yeah, the same card could mean, sometimes it has the same message just said differently, but sometimes it can be something like completely different. So it really depends. But that's good that it resonated with you too. Yeah, guys, I mean, I think it's like when you look at people who are, what do you want in life? And look at the people who have it. And look at what they're doing that you're not doing, right? So if like people who are very abundant, what is it that they do differently? How do they think about money? What is their relationship to money? I'm just going to keep Peanut to entertain you guys in the meantime. So, and same thing with relationships or all that sort of stuff, or people who have mastered like family and all this kind of thing. It's like, what do they do that works? What would Peanut do? What would you do, Peanut? I'm going to clean your eyes. Are you going to show them? Okay. I'm going to shake. So, you know what I mean? And so there's so much that we can learn from that. But if we have resistance to learning from these people, then there's resistance within us. So if you look at a happy couple on the beach, and you want to manifest love, and you get jealous, for instance. No, I don't want to make out. And you get jealous. See, I knew it. Then that goes to show that there is the part of you that is resisting that. And the same thing when you go to like a very ritzy area and you go, oh, all these people, who do they think they are? They think that they're like blah, blah, blah. Well, if you want money and you're rejecting aspects of affluence in there. And so it should tell you a lot as well, So there's nothing wrong with wanting some flashy stuff if that's your personality or not. But not judging someone for it either. It just means that you're judging those aspects within yourself. You got to remember, everything is a bit of a mirror. What do you think, Peanut? He can hear the guinea pigs. Can you hear the guinea pigs? Okay. He's very entertaining, guys. I hope you're entertained by him. He's a character. Aren't you, boo-boos? Can I have a kiss? No? Okay, Peanut. Don't fall back. Cool, guys. So any more questions before we close out? Feel free to ask. I'm here. Also, if you still want me to pull a card, I still have time to pull one more card, maybe. Or you can just watch Peanut being cute for the next 2 hours. Yeah. Peanut. What you gonna do, Peanut? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Aww, I love you. Okay, well, I see no more questions. I think you're all entertained by Peanut. Are you stealing the show? Peanut's in already a couple of commercials, aren't you? You're a little famous chihuahua. Yes, you are. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with me and Peanut today. We love your energy. We love your presence. Thank you so much for connecting with us. I am a little bit tired today because I've been sleeping in these days. The girl's been taking it easy. He's like, you're lazy, Mom. Yeah, tell him the truth. You're lazy. I'm not lazy. You're lazy. Yeah. But I'll be hopefully here. Actually, no, next Friday I'm booked a job, so I will not be here. So I'm either going to change it to another day or I'm going to skip a week. So just keep an eye out. And of course, guys, make sure that you check out all the courses and my meditations. There's a ton of stuff in there. And then that's it. I will see you guys very, very soon. Sending you all the peanut hugs and loves and kisses. Yeah, you give him all the kisses, Peanut. You say, I love you. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye-bye, everyone. We love you. Thank you, Sue. Happy birthday, by the way, Sue. Say happy birthday. Well, happy birthday. There. Okay, guys. Love you. Bye. Bye. Thanks for hanging out.